Hi, my name is Jarrett McWhirt, and I'm a fourth grader at OJ Neighbors. Today I'm interviewing Mr. Harry Kilmer, who is a chef. Where do you work, and how long have you worked there?
Currently, I own Harry's Old Kettle Pub and Grill. I've had that for 5.5 years now, but I've been a chef for 35 years.
What are your job duties there?
Um, Currently, my job duties, I have to do all the ordering, I write the menus, I do scheduling, I do payroll, uh, deal with customers. So I go out and talk to customers too.
What training or education did you receive to do this job?
When I lived in Florida, after it was about 15 years of cooking, I decided to get serious about it, and I signed up for an apprenticeship with the American Culinary Federation. So it was, we held our classes at Indian River Community College, and then we were placed into facilities with certified executive chefs that would work us for the apprenticeship.
How did you pay for your training?
Um, I had to pay for it myself. It was all. I didn't get any scholarships or anything because, like I said, it was just through the apprenticeship program. So I was placed into a job where I actually made money while I was working, going to school.
What is the best part of your job?
I guess the best part is when I go out into the dining room and I talk to the customers, just having them, say how wonderful everything is, or just give them feedback. When I get comments, it just makes you feel good.
What is the hardest part of your job?
Probably managing the staff. Just being a manager, having to deal with, 25 employees, and with if they need to take off or just their scheduling difficulties, just dealing with that.
What is your typical day like on your job?
Typical day starts around 8 a.m. on most days. Go in, accept orders, when the deliveries come in, check them all in, make sure everything is put up properly. Then I start getting everything heated up for lunch, manage the staff, make sure that everything is being done properly. And then we roll right into lunch and then into dinner. On off days, I have to go in really early, around 4:30 or so, and fire up our smokers. So I smoke the meat, the pulled pork or the briskets. Fridays I do the barbecue ribs. So that day starts off super early.
What tools or equipment do you use on your job?
Well, we use a variety of knives. You use a specific knife for a specific duty. There's cutting boards, there's prep tables, deep fryers, just stoves, flames you can saute on. We have flat top grill, char broilers. There's a lot of equipment in the kitchen.
When you were a student, what were your favorite classes?
Probably the soups and sauces. Those I enjoyed that part of the learning experience. Breaking down meats was fun. Doing, taking whole fish, cutting them into fillets and into portions. That was interesting. Sanitation and nutrition probably were the least favorites. They're kind of boring, but they're beneficial. You got to know them, but it's just a little more, book work instead of being able to get out there and be creative and do things.
As a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I think like most kids, you wanted to be, a policeman or fireman or a cowboy. I wanted to be a DJ for a while, but from early as I can remember, I've cooked. From my sister standing me up on a chair, helping her stir cake mixes. I can remember my grandmother always saying she thought I should be a chef, and I never really thought about it, but I've cooked all my life, so it just kind of came easy to me.
What advice do you have for a student who wants to do your job?
Study up on math. You may not think math's important, but for breaking recipes down or expending them, you need to be able to look at a recipe and say, okay, it's for 20. I need it for 100 or 500, or I need it for 3. So you've got to be able to adjust your recipes accordingly. And then management classes. That's the hardest part, really. I mean, the easiest part of being a chef is cooking. The hardest part is managing and doing all the paperwork that comes along with it. Payroll, food costing, just the ordering, all that. Writing menus.
Thank you for answering my questions about your career. I really enjoyed learning about it, and I think others will too.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being here.